An observation I see a lot is when people allow things to flow into their life or they force and control. And the more that somebody is forcing something or trying to control everything that's happening around them, I see that they tend to have more struggles than somebody who's just letting things flow. And I see this a lot in readings. Let's say someone has bought a reading, is either a question reading or prediction reading. And I've done the reading and I email it back. Now, a lot of people will just read it and go, oh, that's interesting. We'll see how that turns out. And a lot of the time, it does turn out exactly like what's in the reading because they had no expectation. They weren't controlling anything. They were just going to let things flow as and unfold as they should. And because it became easy and they weren't forcing or controlling, it did come to them exactly the way that it was shown. But then, where I see other people that have to control everything that's going on around them, let's say someone asked me a question of, can you see me being alone or can you see me being with a partner in the future? Because I get visuals, if I'm seeing them with a partner, I'll get a description, right? Let's say it's a man asking me if I see a partner and I describe her as brown shoulder length hair in a bob shape. She plays a musical instrument with the strings, and then I'll get a bit more detail. She works at this particular place. She's got this kind of character about her. She's been through this in her life so that she's now ready to look for your type of personality. So I get a lot of information. Now, when I send it to somebody that's a very controlling person, the first thing they will do is write back and say, is it this person because I met them like 4 years ago and maybe I missed out on an opportunity, or is it somebody from my past? And they'll give me a whole list. Sometimes they'll give me a list of 6 or 7 different females that they know, wanting me to say, well, it's this one, you've got to chase that one, because they're trying to control the outcome. And then when I write back and say it's somebody you haven't met yet, she's still coming, they can't control that. So then the next question will be, where am I going to meet her? Where do I have to be? What do I have to do? They just need to control every little aspect of the whole situation to make sure that they don't miss them. Like they're thinking, if I don't do something, I'm going to miss them. And this can come from the past. Some in the past, if you've made mistakes or if you have missed opportunities, and then the fear comes up that I might miss out again. And they have to know. I also get where, let's say in a reading, I might get shown that there's a lump sum of money coming to somebody. So I'll get told there's a lump sum of money coming to you. And it feels like inheritance, like it feels like it's going to get left to you or given. It's a gift. So it's not a feeling of you've worked for it, or it's not a feeling of you invested sort of thing. It's coming from somewhere else. So a person who needs to control everything around them can then get really offensive or they need to know. So they'll write back and go, but I don't have any relatives that are alive. How could anybody leave me a inheritance? I don't have anybody that's alive. Like immediately the thought just goes to, I need to control this. Like, where is this coming from? I need to control the situation. It could come from, you have no idea where things can come from anywhere. Like, you might look after a neighbour for years without thinking, and they appreciate you. You might have helped somebody in the past and totally forgotten about them, and they've remembered you and left you something in a will, or somebody wins Cross Lotto and remembers a kind deed you did for them, and then they gift you some money. It can come through an insurance payout of some sort. It doesn't, just because you can't figure it out right there and then, it doesn't mean it's not happening. And why is this need to absolutely control every aspect? Because I see the people that control and they force stuff, and when they force, they push everything away. It's like the universe says, this is what you want, here it is, And then you start pushing it away because you're trying to control every little aspect of it. And then it's like, what have I done wrong? Why is this happening to me? Then it goes into victim mode, like nothing ever manifests for me because, excuse me, my itchy nose. It's just, it's that controlling energy that pushes stuff away. Yes, you do need to control certain things in your life, but when I can feel it in my body when I'm aligned, like when I let go and I just go, it's going to work out. It'll show up. Something will show up. Whatever I'm looking for, it'll show up. When I get into that space and I just have gratitude for life and I just keep going on, it shows up. But when I try to force stuff and try to control every aspect, it just gets worse, and then it gets more complicated, and then I end up like bringing stuff into my life that I never even wanted there. And I can just see it happening. It's like, it's good for me to watch what happens with clients that do this. It's showing me also it's how important it is to surrender. But the ego loves to control. The ego wants to control. The ego gets impatient. The ego needs to have answers right now. We live in a world where if you text somebody, you expect a text back straight away. You email somebody, you get an email straight away. We've got mobile. You can go to the supermarket now and ring somebody at home, say, what was it you needed at the shop? Everything is instant. So a lot of the time our brain is programmed into thinking that we need to control everything that's going on around us so that we can have everything right now. The patience is disappearing, letting things unfold naturally, letting other things line up first. A lot of times in readings, I'll see you have to go through 3 or 4 steps before you're going to get to that outcome you want. Now, but the person here just wants the outcome. They don't want the 4 steps in between. They've just lost their patience for that. When you align, you go through the 4 steps and then the outcome comes. So with yourself, are you somebody that just can, you can hear a prediction or you get a vision for yourself and you go, oh, that's interesting. Well, let's see how that unfolds and just let it go. Or are you somebody that has to know more? Like you need to know absolutely every little minute detail because there's something in you that has to feel safe. That, you're trying to survive, but you're also trying to feel safe at the same time.